drags his son into the river for where he can have a nice talk to his son. Dang it, Dad, why are you defending the wolf? Look, I don't want to defend Scott just as much as you do. I don't want to defend him. I want to end his life. Max, listen to me. Before he could say anything, Max interrupted him again. No, Dad. That punk killed my mom, and I won't rest until... Sir Forrest did not want to do this, but he had no other choice. He roared at Max, basically telling him to shut up. Max bowed his head in submission to his father. Sir Forrest calmed down for a little bit. Max, listen to me. It wasn't Scott who killed Allison. What do you mean? It wasn't him. Someone else did. Scott was only trying to help your mother. Just like you, I was blind. Clearly by my anger and rage. But I was blind like you were. But I realized that it wasn't Scott who killed your mother. It was someone else. Someone clearly wanted your mom dead. I don't know who wanted your mother dead, but I promise you, I will be looking for that person, and I will make that person regret it. But why you weren't here? What do you mean? I mean, you weren't here to raise me. Where were you? Like I said, it's a complicated story. How complicated? Look, son, your mom wasn't the first girl I fell in love with. I fell in love with someone else who went with me to school when I was little. You fell in love with someone else before you met my mom? Yes. Look. Her name is Orr. She's a nice wizard. Huh, that's interesting. But I still love your mother. And I left because my mom's house burned down. My parents' house burned down, and not to mention, my dad died by the hands of Mahmoud Prime. I went to California and I met your mother. Actually, I created a team. And I loved I love your mother. I loved your mother so freaking much. Your grandparents offered me a home. They offered a place for me to stay. They allowed me to date your mother. It was only a matter of time before I ended up meeting the wolf boy. But your mom wanted me to get along with Scott, but it clearly didn't work. So I just remained as an enemy to Scott. But I didn't kill him because if I killed him, then your mother would probably get upset at me. Then, after that, several months, well, about a year later, we had you. Your mother loved you so much, Max. She wanted you to have a different life. Different from a werewolf hunter. She wanted you to have the life that I grew up with, but different. Luckily, I was managed to agree with her on that. Your grandfather, he saw how happy she was to have a kid of her own. Heck, I was about to ask your mom to marry me before she died. But the thing is, that's when it happened. The accident happened. Ever since then, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to raise you on my own. I decided to leave your grandfather's house because it had way too many bad memories. So, I just decided to take you with me. I brought a few pictures of your mom with me so that way you can at least know what she looked like. But we have a different power, son. What type of power? Max almost ended up having tears in his eyes, knowing how much his father loved his mother. And even if Survivors fell in love with someone else before he met his mom, he can clearly tell from it within his dad's eyes that he definitely was in love with Allison. We can see, touch, and even kill the ghosts or spirits of those who were lost. You have that ability, son. You just need to know how to use it. Your mother wouldn't want you to kill Scott just to avenge her. As a matter of fact, I'll let her tell you that. But, Dad, I need to know how to use it. Show me? Of course, son. But just promise me that you'll put all this behind you. I need to know. I want my mom. I want to see my mom before I put it all behind me. Of course. Survivors taught his son the trick on how to see, touch, and even kill the spirits of those who were lost. Then, Max opened his eyes and saw his mom. Right next to his dad. Sir Francis looked and saw Allison, who was standing right next to him. Mom? Max. Listen. This has to stop. I don't want you to kill Scott. Look at me in the eyes. Killing him won't avenge my death. Even if he was the person who killed... If he was the person who killed me, I would have allowed it. But he's not the person who killed me. I don't know who exactly killed me, but... I want you to spare his life. And... Sir Flowers was right to tell me that I couldn't trust Scott. Because within a way, he led me to be like this, sort of. But, son, I will always love you. No matter what you become. I'm so proud on how you've grown. You even look identical to your father. I was about to name you Junior. Max clearly was having tears in his eyes. His mother hugged him, and he hugged her back. Sir Flowers joined in as well. But Max, if you truly want to avenge me, find the real person who was responsible for my death, and kill him instead of Scott. But how will I move on without you? I don't want to leave you. You won't, because I will always follow you wherever you go. Even if others can't see it, but I will always be right next to you. Whether you're in battle, dating someone, or even asleep, I'll always be watching over you. Okay? Okay, I'll stop. And you are more welcome to speak to me anytime you want. But Max, how are you like this? Like what? Who told you that Scott was the one who killed your mom? Who told you? And who raised you? And I was gone for like 2 years after your mom died and after I lost you. How in the world are you 16 years old already? There was a guy with long yellow hair. Sir Francis' eyes would widen and his heart sank. Why, what's wrong, Dad? Lucas. Who? Your dad's arch enemy. They've been rivals for a long time. Max, you shouldn't listen to his words. He's a very dangerous man-kaiju. He intends to destroy all life on this planet and recreate it into his own image. He wants to be king of the world, son. He has another friend of his, but a really hated rival of mine, David. He wants to become the king of the mega monsters.